Hello everyone and welcome back to our ingredient series. Next up on our list we have vanilla. And in front of you I have a couple of different types of vanilla. Some you might have heard of and some you might not have. Two, I would say, of the most known vanilla products out there are vanilla extract, which I personally never use. This is not vanilla extract. This is a bottle of hot sauce. This one I recommend though. Vanilla extract and then whole vanilla beans, right? But there are problems and trade-offs with both of these products. Now, another option you can find in supermarket or online on Amazon is vanilla paste. Which looks like seeds, vanilla seeds, and flavor in some sort of like gelatinous component, so it's not liquid like an extract. And finally, vanilla bean powder. So if I open this, I'll show you in a minute. It's just basically this dark. Can I zoom in? No, I need some light. Basically, it's just like this dark, looks like ground coffee almost, but oh my, that smells good. So you might wonder why I sorted them this way, and it's actually from the least recommended to the most recommended. You might think, well, why would you recommend this vanilla powder instead of kind of the premium whole vanilla beans? So before I get there, let's work our way from the left to the right. As you know, I don't have vanilla extract. I never use it. I don't like it for a couple of reasons. One, it doesn't taste good. Like most of the time, vanilla extract is just artificial flavors. And yes, it's cheap, but I would rather like buy some whole beans or high quality bean powder, because you don't need much in a recipe. Like just a couple, it's like a spice, right? So I don't see the point in using vanilla extract. The second problem with extract is usually vanilla extract, even if it's a natural extract, are in an alcohol solution. So it's actually a liquid. And this might not be a problem for like cakes and cookies and so on and so forth. But if you make like whipped cream, like you don't want to add alcohol to whipped cream. You don't want to add liquid to something that is already stable. So I would say, like right off the bat, I just don't recommend vanilla extract at all. For the longest time, I was like, okay, so the only other option is either the low-end cheap stuff or the high-end super expensive whole vanilla beans, which is this one is from Costco, so it's a little bit cheaper and it's high quality. But sometimes in some fancy supermarkets, you can pay like $10 for one bean. It's just insane. It's ridiculous. So I looked up online before going to pastry school, and then I noticed that there's these vanilla bean products where you have basically actual seeds that are just basically in suspension in some sort of gel, right? And if you look closer, you can see all the tiny like vanilla seeds. So this is actually a good product. It's not as liquid as the extract, but it's still a gel. So like it doesn't work in a lot of applications. It doesn't work with whipped cream. It works with like pastry cream and so on and so forth. But there's still some alcohol. There's also some stabilizers and thickeners and so on and so forth. So, and it's not that cheap, but again, it's like regular beans. Like you don't need much to work. So If this is the only thing that you can find and you can actually buy some on Amazon like for 15 bucks and it's going to last you 6 months, if you bake as much as I do, this is like infinitely better than extract. Like there's no debate. Now on to the other one. So what is actually vanilla bean powder? So in a vanilla bean, as you know, there's the actual pod, and if you open it, then this is how you scrape the inside and you can extract the beans, the actual seeds in there. But the pod itself is also very, very fragrant. And you might have seen like some people after they scrape the seeds out, you can still like use the pod to infuse in some like milk or in sugar and so on and so forth. So there's still a lot of flavor in that pod. So what people do is, instead of using vanilla beans that if you don't use them like very often, they might dry out, right? So what they do is like they take the whole beans and then they put it in a dehydrator and then they grind it. So basically in these products, if they're made with whole beans, and I'm going to explain that in a minute, like naturally, where is that? There's an ingredient somewhere. Yeah. Vanilla bean powder, and somewhere on the packaging it says, I tried different types, that is made from whole beans. I mean, this one is good. I tried different brands online on Amazon, and this one is the one I prefer. So if you just dehydrate the vanilla bean and then you grind it, you end up with that powder here. So this powder contains both the seeds and the bean and the pods dried. Now, some people, and I would not name names, what they do is they get whole beans, they open them, extract the seeds to sell at a premium, then they just dehydrate the empty pods to grind it and sell it as vanilla bean powder. But there's actually no seed. It's just like dried pods. So it's still, this is like in France, sometimes on packaging it's referred as like exhausted vanilla bean powder or non-exhausted vanilla bean powder. So basically, if it's exhausted, it means that they've taken the seeds out of the pods before grinding them. And obviously, you want to, and I think that some of the vanilla bean powder that I tried on Amazon that were not good actually did not have they extracted the seeds out before grinding them. But this one is quite good. And so the reason why in most commercial kitchen nowadays they use powder, like non-exhausted powder, so I've had with the seeds as well, is just because it's much more convenient. You have all the benefit of like a natural vanilla bean with none of the inconvenient. Like you don't have to cut them and scrape them, and you don't run the risk of having them like dried out and so on and so forth. And because it's a powder, then you can mix it in anything. Like it doesn't change the texture of your whipped cream, it doesn't change the texture of your cake. It becomes a dry ingredient instead of being a wet ingredient, and it changes everything. This has a much longer shelf life than this as well. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for this, and it's only 2 ounces, so 60 grams about, but you just need like half a gram every time you make a recipe, so a little goes a long way. And I'll put description down below, and I highly recommend it. If you want, you can go with the whole beans if that makes you happy, but it's a lot more expensive. So that's it for vanilla. We're going to use it for everything from creme brulee to tiramisu, cakes, and so on and so forth, pastries, cream, and whipped cream, you name it. Highly recommended using whole vanilla bean powder instead of the very expensive fresh pods. Thank you.